Hey everyone, thanks so much for coming through and dropping through a couple of questions for me. I thought it would be a good chance to try and, I don't know, give some insights or just talk about where I've got to today and, a good chance for you guys to find out a little bit more about myself. So the first question, my good old mate Christian Brown. What's one thing you think you have over other videographers, and what's the dream? How big is T3 Media's future, you reckon? I feel like in terms of having an edge over other videographers, I think everyone has the same edge, I guess, which is being themselves. So I guess when I first started off, quite often I would compare myself to other videographers and always think about what I couldn't do that they could do. But I don't know, I think I've found a bit of personality in myself, I guess, where I like to be a bit of an egg, but just trying to have a bit of a twist on things and always trying to find a way to make things fun. But yeah, I don't like to kind of dwell on what I do better than others, but yeah, I guess it's just really honing in on focusing on what you do well and just trying to focus on that. And the future of T3 Media, I guess I've set goals pretty high in terms of where I want it to end up. So I'd love to be able to hopefully someday end up with a bit of a crew. Like a range of photographers, graphic designers, just people from all different elements to create a bit of a creative flair, I guess, across all fields and be able to provide to people all sorts of media. Hence why I went with the name T3 Media. I didn't want to keep it solely to video. I could have gone Timo Films, but I just knew in the long run, if I wanted to expand into other areas, it kind of it doesn't make sense if I'm Timo Films, but doing photography. Next question, the old mate Kerry Robinson. How long did it take you to learn how to use all your equipment? So the camera, drone, angle, lighting. So it kind of went all the way back to school, really. The subject media studies that I took up in year 12. And I just instantly fell in love with it. Like it was just a task or a subject, I guess, where time would go really fast. I guess some people talk about getting in those flow states, and I kind of felt that with video. So I've kind of been chipping away over the years since school, and then went straight to university after school, where I did a degree in media and creative technologies, and through that I kind of got to taste a little bit of everything. And it's just, I guess, a craft that you can always keep continually learning all different things. But it's probably in terms of like years, what's that, 2009, 2010, so probably around like 10 years worth of playing around with stuff that works and trying to just seeing other people's work sometimes and just trying to figure out what they did to get that sort of image. Michelle Montague, one thing you'd like to capture sporting wise more than anything else? I think the sport wrestling would be any sort of wrestling would be quite a cool sport to kind of capture. More so around the individuals themselves, I guess, what they kind of go through mentally and how they prepare for fights, because I know you can play a game of rugby and get bashed up and bruised, but there's 15 other players on the field there to help you, whereas when you're on your own fighting, that's something else. So wrestling, definitely keen to do something like that, so maybe we should link up sometime and do some content for you. Ken Knight, what would your starter pack look like for anyone wanting to start their own videography business? So a starter pack would definitely, you'd need some sort of editing software, because I've seen a lot of people do it as well. Like, it's not necessarily about the cameras that you use to get the footage. A lot of the magic happens in the editing. So some people can film stuff on their phones, and just with the editing skills they can make it look like it was shot on some expensive camera. So I think if you're starting off, you definitely want to invest into a laptop or a computer that's going to be able to handle some sort of video editing, and then from there you would start looking at probably, for me, for my personal opinion, I probably sat on entry-level cameras for too long because I didn't want to spend money on hitting those $3,000 cameras. But as soon as I got one, I kind of was really gutted that I didn't get to it sooner. So yeah, just make sure you got a computer or laptop that can handle video editing, and then I don't know, depends on what your budget is. Start with a phone, maybe have a look at some of the cheap Sony vlog cameras. They're not too bad as well. But yeah, I would say laptop, computer, and editing software. You can explore some free stuff, but depends how far you want to take it. I'd definitely recommend getting a subscription to Adobe or something like that. You pay like $50 a month, but yeah, there's so many plugins in that you can use to make some really cool stuff. Ethan Henare, a Saturday still for the boys. Definitely. Yeah, don't tend to get too many Saturdays with the boys these days. I guess it's quite typical in rugby. After you play a bit of footy, it's you carry on with a few beers. But yeah, that was something that I kind of did a couple of years ago. I guess I kind of pulled out of playing footy because I wanted to use as much spare time as I could to invest that in towards this video stuff. Cambo Smith, what new filming techniques are you wanting to learn? Definitely like the racing drones, the FPV drones. I've seen people take some wicked footage, like where they can just whip down and under bridges and going between rocks and all sorts of things like that. So that would be one thing I'd definitely want to experiment with. So this one's quite similar from Luke Moss and my brother Lenny. What's been your greatest achievement so far? And yeah, that would probably just be taking the plunge, I guess. So 1st of November 2019, that would probably be the biggest achievement. Just being able to report to myself, I guess, to start work on a Monday morning at 8:30. It was a little bit scary though. Like, I was a little bit envious of Sarah leaving the house to go to work that day. But yeah, that was probably the biggest achievement. And then now getting Sarah alongside me as well would be another big achievement with that. And also Luke asked what my greatest regret was. It'd probably have to be not doing it. Not doing it sooner. Like, I wish I kind of had started a couple of years ago. But I guess that's just the way things work. Like, I kind of sat on doing videography as a side hustle for quite a while, and then I was lucky enough to bump into someone that gave me a bit of a blueprint to go out on my own. And it's just, there's so much to learn in this space, and I've learnt so much within 6 months already that I would have learned at an office job over a couple of years. Brenda Collin, what's a story you would want to tell the most through your skills? Damn, that's a bloody good question. I just read a book recently, actually, on a guy called Dr. Paul Wood that went to prison and quickly turned his life around in prison. He managed to start studying and became a doctor shortly after coming out of prison. So I think being able to tell the story of someone, how they switch their mindset and behaviour, everything, from one extreme to the other. So from being in jail to going out and being a doctor in psychology, I think it was. That would be a great story to tell. Niece Williams, do you have a favourite video you've shot so far and why? That would probably be one of my recent ones I did for a lady called Marilyn who had suffered 2 major strokes within 1 week. And she went from being a fairly active woman to being very restricted. And we got to do a video of her and I guess her outlook on life and how she's pushing on, although she's had those sort of adversities in her life. That was real cool story, and generated a few tears while I was editing that one. Anna Lynch, what motivates you when you get up each morning? I don't know, I feel like I'm very aware of and conscious of time. So yeah, I like to be productive and be cracking into it straight away. So yeah, I feel like, I don't know if I think about that a little bit more. What motivates you to get up each morning? I guess I'll think about it like, you know, if your competitors are out there sleeping, what are you doing to get an advantage? Probably, yeah, in some sort of analogy like that. Cisco, what inspired you to get into video? Oh, I think I mentioned that earlier, but it was just, I kind of discovered it in school, and I just figured that this is such an easy way to pass time, and if I could ever do this for a job, it would be the dream job. So here I am. JJ Moike, dream gig. Who would it be for, and what would you want to film for them? I'd say media and sports has always been like a massive part of my life that I've always enjoyed. So it'd be quite cool to be able to, I don't know, document Shaun Johnson for a week or something, or maybe with the Warriors or something like that would probably be a dream gig. Christian Brown, favourite rugby 08 cheat? The pause while taking conversions, or the classic head high before they catch the ball? Yeah, I'd probably go the head high before they catch the ball. Curtis from Queenland Property. Best way to combat the soul killer being self-doubt. We all struggle with this when it comes to starting a business. Yeah, can definitely preach for that, and I definitely don't think I've have got full control of that being self-doubt. I wasn't really what's the word for it? I hadn't really experienced as much self-doubt before, up until now actually, being in business. I guess when I had a safe, secure job that was paying for my bills, and I had a side hustle doing video, and that was just, I guess, an experiment, where I would put videos out there of stuff that I've tried doing, or just things that I've done. And now that it's a business, and I guess I depend on these videos to pay for food, put a roof over my head, I guess that's when you start to experience those feels of self-doubt. But trying to combat it, I guess, I don't know, just thinking that the world's bigger than, I don't know, yourself and your business, and try not to let that rule your mind, or just reflecting, I guess, on your goals. It's probably a good way to get rid of that voice. But yeah, it still lurks around every now and then. But I'm glad to kind of experience it though, because it's, I guess one way it's made me uncomfortable, but it's definitely gives you a bit of strength, I guess, to deal with any sort of mental struggle, I guess. Dylan Good, favourite quote that you relate to? This one I picked up recently. I guess I was going through like a phase of feeling overwhelmed, but it was a quote like, Rome wasn't built in a day, but a brick was laid every hour. So that really struck with me. I guess it's about not being in a hurry to build something massive, but making sure that you're continually building towards something. And I think I've heard another guy, Tim Ferriss, mentioned, what was it? It was no hurry, no pause, and he just said to write that down every day. Those sort of things are kind of good, because you can often get caught up thinking about what you need to get through in a day, rather than, I guess, what you're working towards. Aisha, what made you quit your job to take your business to the next level? I guess I just wanted to experience, going out in the big old world on my own, and just seeing if I was cut out for it. I felt like I had the skills to make something of it, so I just thought, it would be a waste of an opportunity to not to try and not experiment that, I guess. So 6 months into it at the moment, and yeah, definitely wouldn't look back. Yeah, there's just so much more to get out of trying to run a business yourself. There's so many hats you have to try and wear, and yet just forces you to learn about those sort of things that are important. Joel, at what point did you realise you were ugly? I'm thinking he's saying, at what point did you realise you were too ugly to be in front of a camera? I don't know how to answer that. What's the next one? Oh, anonymous, but yeah. Was it a business decision to have a bit of fun and creativity? And was it a business decision to have a bit of fun and creativity along with a more serious side to your different customers? Or is this your personality coming through? Your spectrum has from men in wigs to weddings. So I guess what is being asked there is, I guess with a lot of my content, I guess, like they've mentioned, sometimes it'll be me wearing a wig, and then sometimes it's a serious story about someone, battling, some sort of health scare, like a stroke, I guess, which shows the range of content, I guess, that I like to put out there. But yeah, it's always been on the back of my mind, and yeah, I'd say it's almost like an advantage, I guess, being able to mix up all sorts of aspects, I guess, where it's having a laugh, having some fun, but at the same time being serious, having some sort of professionalism when it comes to video. So yeah, it's definitely something I'm very conscious of, and I'm always constantly trying to throw different things into the mix of content. So yeah, I don't mind chucking a wig on every now and then too, just like being a bit of an egg. Okay, so do you and the misso switch of as finance and fiance at 8 a.m. Monday to Friday and become colleagues? Or do the kissy lalas keep rolling in throughout the day? So we've been in lockdown since Sarah started full time. So yeah, there will have to be a bit of switching from fiance to finance, and switching between business relationship and then our at-home relationship. So it's all stuff that I'm expecting to, I guess, learn about in the next coming few months. And I'm definitely conscious that people have said before that couples in business, it's quite tough and difficult, and yeah, good luck with that. But I'm really keen to see how far we can take it, just because I know that if I try this stuff on my own, it'll be tough. But whereas if you go into business with in partnership, I think it just adds a lot more strengths, where whatever your weaknesses are, you can lean on the other person to help you out. So yeah, those are all your questions answered anyway, but I'd love to be able to dive in on a couple of those, probably into more depth, and discuss, I guess, my decisions around it. But yeah, thanks for chucking those through, team. May have to do another Q&A in a couple of months, but yeah, cheers.